All right, all you HKDSE students out there, listen up. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to study hard, we're going to study smart. We're building a strategic toolkit designed to help you absolutely crush that reading paper, and we're starting right now. So let me just ask you this. What if I told you that the key to unlocking a higher score on your reading exam wasn't about memorizing thousands and thousands of words? What if it was actually about mastering a small, powerful set of just 70? I know, it might sound a little too good to be true, but that's the exact strategy we're going to break down today. Okay, first things first, we've got to crack the exam's code. Look, we all know the pressure that comes with this paper, but a huge piece of that challenge, a really big part of it, is just getting a handle on the very specific language that they use. And this really gets to the heart of it. The HKDSE reading paper, it's not just a test of your general English. Nope. It's about being able to decode the specific academic language that the examiners love to use. You know, these are the words that pop up again and again in questions and texts, and they're put there on purpose to test your real comprehension. So, if the exam is a code, then you need the right key. Let's start building that key right now. This is your essential word toolkit. This is where we get down to business. So you're probably wondering, how big is this toolkit? How many words are we talking about? Well, after digging through 10 years of past exam papers, it all boils down to this number, roughly 70 words and phrases that consistently show up. That's it. Not 700, not 7,000, just 70. I mean, come on, that is a totally achievable goal. And as you can see here, this isn't just some random list of words. It's a really balanced mix of adjectives, verbs, nouns, and some super important phrases. Each one of these categories has a specific job to do, and don't worry, we're going to tackle them one by one. Let's kick things off with the tools that add color and perspective. Adjectives. Now, these words do more than just describe things. They're like little signals of an opinion, a quality, or a judgment. And being able to pick up on those signals is exactly what the examiners want to see. Okay, here's a classic pair that trips up so many people. Effective versus efficient. Think of it this way. An effective study plan is one that actually works. It gets the job done. But an efficient study plan gets that job done without wasting any time or effort. One is all about the result, the other is about the process. And you can bet examiners love to test you on that subtle difference. Now for a huge one, controversial. Whenever you see this word in a text, it's like a giant flashing light. It's a massive clue that tells you there's a conflict or a debate going on. Your brain should immediately light up and start looking for the two opposing sides of the argument. And this example shows it perfectly. Just one sentence tells you everything you need to know. It wasn't a simple decision. It was a major public argument. Some people were for it, a lot of people were against it. Controversial is the single word that unlocks this entire conflict for you. Let's group some other useful descriptors together. An arduous journey is just a fancy way of saying it's really difficult and tiring. An inaccessible location is one you just can't get to. An ambiguous statement is unclear. It can have a couple of meanings. And a malicious rumor is one that's intended to cause harm. Spotting these words helps you quickly identify the problems or negative stuff within a passage. All right, next up we have the engine of our toolkit. Verbs. These are the action words, right? They show change and process, and they're what really drives the whole narrative forward in any text. So let's look at another really important comparison. Modify versus transform. You modify an essay by fixing a few typos. It's a small change. But you transform an old warehouse into a cool art gallery. That's a huge, dramatic change. The key difference is just the scale of the change. Is it a small tweak or a complete overhaul? And then there's this power verb, disrupt. This is like transformation on an even bigger scale. I mean, think about how smartphones completely disrupted the camera industry. They didn't just change it, they radically altered its entire structure. So when you see this word, I want you to think big, game-changing impact. Now for some verbs that signal something good is happening. To enhance your skills means to improve them. To facilitate a discussion just means to make it easier. A company might evolve its strategy over time. And to acknowledge a mistake is to admit that it exists. All of these are clues for positive developments. Okay, so we've covered our describing words and our action words. Now it's time to level up. Let's master the abstract concepts and those tricky idiomatic phrases that often separate a good score from a really great one. Here's a great one, rationale. It sounds kind of complicated, but think of it as a signpost for the word why. When a question asks for the rationale behind a decision, it's just asking for the logical reasons. If you can find the why, you've found the rationale. Simple as that. Idioms can be tough, I get it, because their meaning isn't literal. But check out how quickly you can master them. To nudge the pendulum just means to encourage a small change. To be in tune with an audience means you really understand them. Stuff happening behind the scenes is all the work that happens out of public view. And to spare no expense means you're willing to spend whatever it takes for the best quality. Learning these is a huge shortcut to comprehension. So, we've built the toolkit, we've got the words, but a toolkit is pretty useless if it just sits in the box, right? Let's wrap this all up with a simple, powerful strategy to make these words second nature to you. Here is your action plan. It's so simple. First, just review about 10 words a day. Small, consistent effort is what wins here. Second, and this is so critical, you have to create your own sentences. Connect the words to your own life. And third, become a word detective. Go hunt for these exact words in past exam papers. This is going to train your brain to spot them instantly, even when you're under pressure. Remember, what you have now isn't just another vocabulary list. This is a high-impact precision tool that's been crafted from years of past exams. It's your secret weapon. I want you to use it with confidence. And that's our breakdown. The toolkit is now in your hands. So the final question is the one you see on your screen. Which of these powerful words are you going to master first? Good luck with your studies.